Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is Masks of Nyarlathotep. It was written by Larry DiTilio, Lynn Willis, Mike Basin, Lynn Hardy, Paul Fricker, and Scott Dorward, and it's available from Chaoscom. Our game master is Morgan Llewellyn, and this is episode 27. Our recap will be given by myself as my character, Octavius Fox. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. A glimpse is all we get. We're not given time to see more. The desert winds, they blow, and the mad Arab Abdullah Lazared whispers through time. And I listen, and I learn. The stars are not stationary any longer. Maybe they never were. I can hear a drum beat and a howling. He has plans, and he finds it inconceivable that we, small specks of dust, could interrupt them. But we can. New York, London, Cairo, Kenya, Shanghai, and Sydney. A map drawn out on a pharaoh's wall 4,000 years ago. We have lost so many, but we have not lost. We must fight evil, or we go down to darkness. Jackson knows. Christopher knows. Gracie knows. Hauser and Francisco and Freddie. I think Freddie knows the most of all. We must struggle to smash the clock, break the gears, undo the machinations of a god. We have killed the Juju priest, burnt the witch, brought down the cult leader, destroyed the Queen of Egypt. What's next? Bring it on.
All right, so after you kind of fled Cairo to lick your wounds for a couple of weeks in Egypt, you met up with two new companions, George Charles and Dr. Antonio Cabrera, who have, after being informed of what happened to their brother and friend, respectively, decided to join you. And over the last couple of days, you have been making your way up the Nile, through the Suez Canal and down now to Kenya, where you arrive in the port of Mombasa. When you arrive, it is very hot, very humid, pouring rain, and you are all led quickly inside of kind of a customs office. They look over your passports. Those of you who are from England, which I believe is only nobody, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're told that you're allowed with your passport to stay in Kenya for 3 months, if you so wish. Everybody else who is not of British nationality, you're told you only have 1 month before you must leave. That is the maximum time of your visit, but they don't bother with any of your bags. They don't really care. So, and one of them does inform you that if you intend to do some hunting, to make sure to get a hunting license.
I wonder if they have a hunting license for the things that we're going to be hunting. I say that to them, not to the guy.
It's such a fun thing to say to a customs agent, but you know.
I'll ask the customs agent. What's the fishing like around here?
The fish. Well, if you're not a fan of a sea fishing, you're gonna have to go inland into the lakes.
All right.
Nairobi.
What's the best eating?
He tells you a couple of places. Definitely a lot more. Everywhere he recommends is very European style, very British food that's along the coast here. That's about it. Only European, only British food is all he recommends to you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, guys, what do we do next? We find a hotel.
Yes, I think we should book some accommodation, and then we need to. I believe we should probably sit down and go over all we have of Africa. We need to kind of work out where our plan of attack should be, I think.
Yeah. So we assume we.
Yeah. So finding a hotel is not a problem. What you quickly discover is kind of the colonial government of Kenya is believe heavily in segregation, and so there's essentially a part of Mombasa that is white European, very upscale. That's where all the investment is gone. Everywhere else is pretty much shanty towns for the indigenous peoples.
Yeah. All right, folks. Let's go to this hotel. And I don't see any reason why not to start to get to business immediately.
I agree. I mean, the thing is, we're going to stick out like sore thumbs here anyway, so it's not like we're...
Not so much in White Town.
Yeah, so what a little bit of more information about Kenya that you're easily going to pick up walking down the streets. As I mentioned, right? I mean, very, very racist place here, right? So anybody who isn't white hanging around here they're going to get chased off.
Right.
Or essentially what you have is also like a lot of people from India who came to do like railroad projects and things who are here, and they kind of form like a middle class. So there's a lot of white people around and Indian people in this kind of area, but so if you stick to the European parts of town, you won't stick out, if that makes sense.
Awesome.
Right. So the Paradise Hotel.
Sounds fine.
It's not the top of the line, but then I'm not that big into luxury anymore.
The last two places we went, we needed to quickly get another hotel later anyway.
Yeah.
As long as we can stay in a close vicinity, so I guess same floor, or if we can get a suite of some kind, that would be...
Yeah. We just go in like we're traveling tourists or salesmen or something.
Yeah.
Well, I am a doctor, so I was planning on coming this way anyway to help. So it's kind of interjected with my current plans anyway.
Right. So we get our rooms and then we'll have some food and refreshments sent up. And let's talk about what we need to talk about.
So, Fox, you're going to be the only one that's going to remember.
Yeah.
I remember you guys spoke about a connection you found in, I believe it was New York to Mombasa.
Yeah, we believe that the head of this cult is probably here in Mombasa. The people we've been looking for all along that we suspect are not in fact dead, supposedly died in this area. And we should be able to, we might want to go out and see the area that they supposedly were massacred. And possibly talk to some of the tribesmen around.
All right, so with that, so currently right now you're in Mombasa. The Carlisle expedition was killed somewhere in the vicinity of Nairobi. Which is about like a day, like 18-hour-ish train ride from Mombasa
so
inland.
We would get some transport. We're going to have to organize some form of translator
Well, a lot of the
Especially if
people
we're
here
gonna be
speak
speak-
English.
Yeah, but if we're going to talk to tribesmen,
It depends.
what are the chances the tribesmen are going to speak English?
Yeah, we should be able to find somebody who speaks both.
Antonio speaks some because he
Oh,
was already
You speak
coming.
Kikuyu?
No, he speaks Bantu, but I
That's-
don't know. It's what I googled. I googled it, and that's
So as far so like yeah, there's tribes around Mombasa and there are tribes around Nairobi, and they would speak different languages.
Yeah.
Well, it's
But
probably
they all
not a
speak French.
probably not a bad idea to look into the local population, look into the local, look for signs of weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
Get a
Watch our back,
newspaper.
see if,
You probably dropped off a newspaper with the
see if
food.
we're being watched and that sort of stuff.
Was
I know
there?
it's paranoid, but
I recall you were mentioning that the cult in this region that's suspected has a particular name,
Yeah, the bloody tongue.
the Bloody Tongue. Okay.
bloody
And I can show you what their mark looks like. And
Well-
I show it to you.
Okay.
interesting. Well, another place to start looking is maybe looking for influential figures around. Maybe ones who are a little bit kind of in the limelight, not so. Just
Yeah,
Well,
so
that
we're
would
aware.
that would pan in well with what your brother said when we were in Egypt. He the guy who kidnapped your brother's family, he was sort of an influential figure.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like all along the way we've met some pretty influential people, and they've been influential because they've magicked
deals.
their way into that
Yeah.
position.
Make deals with the devil.
Yes, it'd just be good to know because then we can be on a bit more alert for that kind
Exactly.
of thing. So,
Again,
Um,
Antonio. Go on.
yes.
Now,
Sure.
we might not encounter anything at all here in Mombasa. We might have to get all the way out to Kenya before we find anything. But maybe there are rumors. Maybe, let's just keep our eyes open. So far, every
Yeah.
place we've gone, there's been something going on. This seems to be some sort of worldwide organization.
Keeper, could I
Yes.
do a like a library use roll or something? Or I guess maybe a knowledge roll to remember what the Juju house, the stuff that was getting sent in, there was a name of
Yeah.
who was delivering.
Yeah,
it.
you had a business card.
Yeah,
So that will you got the name of Aja Singh.
I just think.
He was an exporter here in Mombasa.
See, I'll
Who was
go
sending
through all our
things to
stuff.
the Juju house, and I'm pulling up a handout all the way back from New York that I'm going to show you again. I just give you
Yeah.
1 second.
I'll be going through all our
'Cause it
files and
talks
stuff and bring out the
about-
business card and go, here you go.
because it's a list of people that Jackson Elias talked to while he was here.
That's right.
That's good.
And since that was all the way back in New York, let me share this real quick.
What's interesting is I'm wondering if Aja Singh is in fact Indian, because Singh sounds like an Indian last name.
Mhm.
Of course, I don't know that much about African last names, so
True.
I could be completely wrong. So let's see. Set 4 follows up on the Kenyatta interviews. Elias continued from several good sources that the bloody tongue exists, though he finds no first-hand evidence of it. Tales include children stolen from for sacrifices, and creatures with great wings are said to come down from the mountains of the Black Wind. Mountain of the Black Wind. There's something for us.
Roger Croydon, the Colonial Undersecretary for Internal Affairs. Johnstone Kenyatta. There's a few
Kenyatta.
names in there. We've got Neville German, Dr. Starlet, Lieutenant Seakirk, and Colonel Edcott are all people he questioned as well. So yeah, there's plenty of names there for us to follow
Look
up on.
into, yes, indeed. We cannot be
Uh,
too careful.
One other name I'm going to point out here before I kind of close this. Down here at the bottom, you ran into a guy named Niels Nielsen.
Victoria Bar in Nairobi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And he claimed this Niels Nelson here somewhere. He said he met in Nairobi. He said he saw Jack Brady alive after the massacre had occurred.
That's
Ah.
right. Yeah.
Right, but he saw him alive in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah.
Hong Kong. Yeah.
And
Maybe we
the
can
Victoria
talk to-
Bar, that's in Nairobi. That's where the Carlisle disappeared.
Right.
So, do you think since Brady was the right-hand man to Carlisle, do you think Brady extracted him as well to what? I guess Hong Kong.
Well, that is if it is him. I mean, we're all. This whole thing started because Jackson believed that they were all alive. Like that was Jackson's belief from the beginning that the Carlyles didn't die. It was all a hoax. So Brady being alive is not necessarily a surprising thing for us. It just depends on what he's doing in Hong Kong and whether he's, because remember, he was the one that didn't go into the temple.
Right.
Yeah.
Back at in Egypt, he was the one that stayed out, and all of the others started acting strange and everything. So that's a possible.
And Brady didn't want to have anything to do with it, so he ran off.
Yeah, he ran off.
That's where he ran off.
So he's possibly in Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's a little bit farther of a train trip.
So what was that? The Black Mountain, did you say?
The Mountain of the Black Wind.
Black Man, yeah.
Sounds charming.
So I
Very
wonder, is that a
famous.
local name? Maybe we could find out where that might be, and if so, we could maybe just sort of see what the locals have to say about it.
Well, it's probably Nairobi.
We do.
But we
We
can
do
look it
need.
on. Let's see if we can find it on a map.
We do need to be careful about talking to the locals though, because we don't know. Like that's the thing; they could be involved in this cult. So just going up to any old Tom, Dick, or Harry and saying, "Oh, do you know anything about the Mountain of the Black Wind?" And they go, "Oh, we're looking for these white people that look like this." Got them, you know.
Yeah.
Walking into the lion's den.
Yeah, that's happened
yeah.
way too much in our previous adventures.
We need to be careful here because locals stick together, especially some people from the tribes and stuff. They will stick together, so they might get a bit more defensive against us in the long run.
Yes.
But I wonder if we might have an ally in if the massacre was not as it was reported to be, if it was a setup job. I wonder if we would have allies in those who were framed for the massacre.
Well, they were
You see
killed.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had them killed,
the
but I mean,
tribes.
that now makes, their friends and family are the ones that got butchered, killed for that, potential allies. That maybe there might be people there that want to get to the bottom of this if this is a mystery.
Well, I don't think that. Well, I think
We'd
that
we'd have to go in and find the records of the people killed and find out what tribes they were from.
And that
And
wasn't reported.
it's even a question of whether they keep records of that sort of thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
okay.
They
I
weren't.
don't
They
know
weren't
if
white people.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't care.
No.
Yeah.
Probably won't just one of the
And-
tribes people is just another.
Considering that
Okay.
situation,
Question
that
they
might
don't
be
need to
incredibly dangerous because those people were betrayed by the white people. So why would they trust
Exactly.
us?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
And
a little too European.
I think we
or-
need to some of these the names that Jackson interviewed. I think that's possibly a good place to start.
it is.
Because we can say we're finishing his book, so we're just following up on,
Yes, and maybe once we get to Nairobi, I know some of the locals will speak around Bantu language, so maybe that might be able to help ease their distrust of us. Maybe.
Starting to wonder if we should mention Jackson at all.
Good point.
You know,
Depends-
There's also
Depends
this
on-
Aha Singh here in Mombasa.
yeah,
That's
we can
obviously
see
another.
if we can find this Aha Singh. See if he's a goodie or a baddie, so to speak. You know,
Whether he was just shipping, look, literally, if he was just shipping product.
the bad guys use flunkies to do their work, so sometimes the flunkies don't have a clue of what's going on. But the guy's got a business card, so he's probably somebody in charge.
What was the name of the shipping company in New York? The ones that helped kill Christopher.
East something.
So the situation in New York that you uncovered is there was the Juju House, where the cult was based, and they were getting stuff from a company called Emerson Imports.
Emerson Imports, that was it.
But Emerson was in England, wasn't it?
No, Emerson Imports was in New York.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
they were the ones that helped the police officer ship Christopher to the Juju house.
That's right.
So they were on the take as well. So you are quite right. This Aha Singh, even if he is, basically we've got to assume anyone we talk to is out to kill us. Any thoughts, George?
Yeah, this Singh fella sounds. Eh,
Well,
good chance he's not one of the good ones.
I hate to make it sound like we're using you, but George and Antonio are the only ones who haven't been involved in anything so far.
Yes, very good point.
You're the safest ones to go in and do a little spying for us.
Poke around.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true indeed. Yes, I am here to just be as much help to you guys as I can, especially for my dear brother Francisco.
Yeah,
Yes,
good man.
yes.
Plus, we got a book passage to Nairobi.
Well, you freaking deal with that, and me and George can go look into this Aga scene.
You think we should stay here for maybe 3 days and then move on to
I think that's a
Nairobi?
good idea, yeah.
That
Alright.
sounds good.
I think if George and Antonio, as you say, go scout out Singh and see if you can pick up, see if you can find information about maybe some of the other names that are on that list, if they are here. And then if not, then as you say, we can head off to Nairobi in 3 days' time and go from there. But I think that's a good plan of attack, Fox.
I'll set that up so that we're going. I'm also probably going to take a look at local collections, library and museums. See if
I can
anything
assist you with that. Yeah,
see if anything looks suspicious.
good call.
Okay, so Fox, Francis, and Slayton, you're going off to book train tickets and kind of take in the scenery. So you want to book your tickets for so today's May 7th is a Thursday, so Sunday then is when you want to go.
Yeah, the 10th. You said 18 hours.
Yeah.
So let's book it for sometime in the afternoon. And that way we'll arrive in the evening. We can go to bed and get up fresh and early the next morning to do stuff. So afternoon of the 10th.
Okay, afternoon. So we just say 1 o'clock for argument's sake.
Okay.
You arrive at 7 p.m. on Monday the 11th.
Bring something to read. It's not going to be comfortable. Bring a cushion. You might not even find a place to sit down on these trains.
All right, so that's simple enough. You guys are going, and now you're looking at. You're not convinced looking at libraries, etc. Antonio and George asking around for Aja Singh's business. You're pointed to kind of a set of two buildings that are. They're in Kilindini Harbor. So there's kind of a big warehouse building, and then next to it there's this little office, kind of off to the side. You see people kind of coming in and out. Some people lounging outside smoking. That's kind of going about their day.
How do you want to deal with this, George? How should we go ahead?
I'm not one for confrontation,
No,
especially when I don't hold all the cards.
I don't think it'd be wise. We don't really know the man. We just need to know a little bit about the layout, and maybe if he has some influence or whatever his deal is, we need to
Right.
do that.
So Morgan, when we were asking around, what was the general demeanor of people when we brought up the name?
Fine. A lot of people had no idea who you were talking about. In fact, most people had no idea who you were talking about.
Okay.
You were eventually pointed towards the docks, like, oh, it sounds like it would be, in this area, and then somebody there was like, oh yeah, no, I've heard of them. So not a whole lot of apprehension.
And were we asking specifically for the man or his company?
Just his company.
Okay.
I mean, well, I guess that's really a question for you. Are you just asking for the company, or?
Oh, I wouldn't bring up the name.
Okay, so with the company, yeah, most people are ignorant. They don't know, and they eventually find somebody who does at the harbor, and they point you to the right place.
All right.
Okay. Yes.
I wonder. What do you think? What do you think the odds of any one of these exportation companies shipping things out on ice?
I don't know. I am not. If my brother was alive, he'd be a bit more of an expert in this. But
well, I can ask around and play it off as a fishing trip.
Yes, you could. That's why I'm.
Hell, I even brought a pole with me. It's not on me. It's back with my luggage. But
and no offense, but they may look kindly upon you because, again, you like your fishing, and I look like I'm like a fancy doctor. I'm not. I look a little bit out of place, so maybe it might be. They might feel more comfortable around you at this stage.
Well, they might take pity on me. This plaid's damn hot.
Yeah, the humidity is a pretty bad.
Well, I can always go and well, it seems like there is an office. Maybe I can. Usually, an office is a secretary. Maybe I can go ask around in there. I just hope I don't actually bump into Mr. Singh himself.
Well, you stay out here, and I'll give him the fishing line.
Okay, you sit to yourself. I'll wait until you get back, and then we can then I'll think about maybe going in. But
right.
So George, you walk into the office. It's a pretty small building. See, kind of towards the back, there's a half of it is one office, and then there's like a little front office. The door to that back office is closed. The lights are off, and you see a man kind of over by kind of a desk and a typewriter who kind of looks up when you come in. He says, welcome. How may I help you?
Howdy. I'm here on a fishing trip, and do you guys send out things with ice, keep them cool?
Well, if that's what you need, we could certainly arrange that.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yes, we can take care of all of your exporting needs. Anything
That's
that
great
you
to
need
hear.
shipped all over the world.
Well, here, I sit down, or I offer my hand and then sit down. So, and what's your name?
I am Apender Singh.
Ah,
I help run this company.
nice to meet you, Mr. Singh. I go by Edwards.
Edwards.
Yep,
Well, it's nice to meet.
Jacob
Always nice to meet
Edwards,
new customers, Mr. Edwards.
of course. Yeah. So, what are your pricing? What's your pricing scale here?
Well, for smaller kind of one-off sort of things, I hope you understand that we have to charge a little bit more. Most of what we do is in bulk, you must understand, but I'm sure we could come to some equitable arrangement. And he starts. I mean, he goes really depth into these types of prices. Nothing outrageous. I mean, it's pretty expensive to ship, but it's so he. I mean, he's just giving you the business talk at the minute.
You got a slip of paper I can write this down on?
Oh, sure. And he
Right.
passes a little notepad over to you.
Do I see anything? Is there anything out of the ordinary in the office?
Give me a spot hidden roll.
That is just a pass.
Okay, so with just a pass, you notice you'll notice that the back office, there is a little placard by the door that's kind of small, but that says Asha Singh. For that larger office, well, you don't see anybody back there. And the only other thing is you notice that he has this ledger open, but it is written in Hindustani. So you see, I mean, you can read the numbers. It's definitely an accounting ledger if they're shipping, but that's
All right.
yeah, it's in Hindi. So
Then once I'm done taking notes on his pricing spiel, I'll point to the nameplate. Is this a family operation?
Well, sort of. I'm more of a distant cousin to Mr. Asha Singh, but he's currently in India on business. So while he's away, I'm the man in charge.
Ah, well, I got a soft spot for family, especially where business is concerned. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, and around the office, there's lots of different little tribal trinkets and like masks and things like that, kind of all prominently displayed everywhere. But
All right.
Nothing's really jumping out at you as odd.
All right. So, having taken the notes and quipped back and forth a little bit of conversation, I'll again offer my hand to shake it and leave.
Yes, I hope to see you again, Mr. Edwards. I hope your fishing trip goes well.
Me too.
While
Right,
I was
you have a good day.
outside, while I was outside, did I see anything at all? Anything that I would deem odd? I would be scouring while I was out there.
Make a spot hidden.
For 95, I see.
Everything's perfectly fine.
My vision must be going. I'm getting old, you see.
maybe get a little distracted watching the ships
Yeah.
off in the distance.
What is that beautiful ship over there?
And George, yeah, you see George kind of walking towards you.
George, did you find anything out?
Well, they can export my fish, which is nice. Now we just got to get some fish. That's the hard part, see.
Well, I bet you're a master fisherman, George. I bet you're masterful with a rod, I assume.
Some may say that.
No, I bet they do. Anyway, we must.
Well,
If there's nothing of importance we found out, where isn't? Did you find out where Aja Singh is?
well, he's in India apparently on business.
Okay, that might be a little bit of
His
a dead end.
nephew or grandnephew or whatever is the guy running the ledger in there.
Could you? I'm assuming. This might be a dead end. With the things, I don't know.
Oh, it
I tried
certainly
to go
could be.
I did a little bit of scouring while you were away, and I didn't see anything odd. I did see that beautiful ship over there. Look how beautiful it is.
Oh yeah, which one? The 2-mast or the 3-mast?
Ah, the Freemast, right there. Yes.
Yeah, I don't have much of an eye for boats. At least big ones.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's all Greek to me.
Well, we must move on then, but
Yeah, let's go see if the others have dredged anything up.
but we shouldn't forget about these things. Just keep it in the back of your memory, Charles. Just in case.
Don't have to do that. I took notes.
Charles.
All right, so the others. Go ahead and make library use checks. You're looking into the Black Wind, Bloody Tongue.
Nine.
Right.
Those different those people, the different people that were mentioned.
Regular pass off for mine.
It's a hard. Got a hard here.
And that's a failure from you, Fox.
I got an 80.
Okay. So Francis and Slayton, you're kind of poring over maps. From old maps, new maps, different origins, different cartographers. You cannot find anywhere that mentions the Mountain of the Black Wind. That is just not. It's just not a name that's coming up.
Might be a colloquialism, something that the natives call a certain area that.
Yeah, is there in the area of Mombasa or Nairobi, is there any significant large mountains?
So, as far as mountain ranges are concerned, give me 1 second. Let me find that. Prominent mountains between here and there. There's Mount Kilimanjaro, but that's kind of halfway between there. There's Mount Kenya. There's another prominent mountain north of Nairobi. Sorry about this. So many mountains.
It's a question you can start asking when we get there about areas the natives don't like to go in. You know, that's
True.
Most likely it's going to be some tribal curse or fear of the area.
Yeah, so those are the two most prominent mountains are Kilimanjaro and Mount Kenya. And Mount Kenya is closer to Nairobi, and that's a mountain range there, so there's kind of a cluster of them.
So there could be
So
other
there's
mountains.
not mountains near Mombasa, but there are plenty of mountains near Nairobi.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a safe bet then that we'd assume Nairobi is going to be where this place is. Okay.
Now, is Nairobi a city? Is it turned into a city?
Yes, it's the capital of Kenya.
Okay.
So I'm wondering.
And is it going to be a similar setup to here? Like there'll be a European section of.
Yeah, very much so. Where the colonial British people set up and everybody else.
What I'm thinking is we might get the most information on some of this more obscure occult stuff by looking up occult shamans, witch doctors, whatever you want to call them, out on the outskirts of the town, especially ones that have a good reputation with the people as whatever healers and wise people. Maybe remember the woman in Egypt,
in London, yeah.
Would the outskirts of the town though have an established method to look businesses up? Do they have?
No, you'd have to probably go word of mouth.
Okay.
So I mean, so you're looking at a map. So like there's Mount Kenya, there's Mount Satima, and there's all these little villages, all kind of clustered in there, kind of north of the city. So
There's a good chance that it might be embedded in that range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. The best thing is to get there and just sort of word of mouth it for.
Tell them we have some need to seek the wisdom of.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Hotel concierges. We could go up and say, "Hey, look, we might be interested in some of the occult history of Kenya."
Yeah, but
and they might be able to point us in the right direction.
I think you're just going to get white Europeans in white hotels and concierges.
No, but I mean, the concierge might be able to point us in the right direction, or possibly we can. I mean, maybe there's a waiter or a maid.
I don't know. I think it'd be better to find somebody outside the city.
But that would all
but then
be
that's the
within the realm
danger
of just asking around.
That's what I mean. That's the danger.
It's a lot less dangerous out there than it is in the city. All of our bad guys have tended to be rich people.
That's true. That is very true. We should probably head back to the hotel and wait for the others, but
yeah.
I don't think you're wrong, Fox. I think possibly we look into maybe going out of town and so outside of the city tomorrow and see if we can hunt down some more occult.
I think that we'll find the people that we're looking for. You know what I mean? I mean, here it's too European, but once we get out there and we start talking to people and being friendly towards them, and we tell them that we, want to talk to some of their wise men, then they might send us to the right area.
Yeah.
We don't tell them why, but because I think that they're going to give us more information about something like the Black Wind, the mountain Black Wind.
We should have a good cover story as to why, though, because the chances of anyone pointing us in the right direction, if we're going to clam up about, well, why are we looking? We need to be able to easily, off the top of our tongue.
We're rich Europeans looking for the wisdom of the peoples.
Perfect.
Sounds good to me. It's kind of true.
Well, I mean, that's when you think about it, it's kind of like what the Carlisle expedition were doing. If we just,
that's kind of what Jackson Elias was doing too.
Exactly. So if we just don't necessarily give the information of exactly 100% what we're doing, and just kind of play incognito.
Hopefully, this
Um,
guys have some luck finding this Aja thing.
Yeah. As we leave the library or the hotel, whatever, I am gonna do a quick paranoid kind of search around, look if we're being watched or if
Oh
there's
yeah, right
All right,
there
well,
with you.
give me a paranoid spot
Right.
hidden then.
Right there. I'm right there with you.
That is just a regular pass.
Darn, yeah, just a regular as well.
So looking around, people kind of milling about, going from the place to place. You see a face that you're like, wait, they kind of look familiar. Like you've seen them because since you got off the ship, you've been looking all over the place, and you're
Sure.
like, okay,
Yeah.
you're like, this is the fourth time I've seen this guy.
Right. Okay.
Seems to be a young man, like late teens, who he's kind of leaned up against a wall, and he's kind of
European,
Indian,
Indian. Okay.
and he's kind of looking around. He glances towards the library. He looks around. He glances towards the library.
So with my equal regular pass, do I see him as well?
Yeah.
So I just I'm not making too much eye contact. Mentioned to Francis, do you want me to like swing wide and left to get on the far side of him, and then?
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Before we go out, do we want to confront him, or do we want to
Find out what he's
like
up
we
to.
don't? Okay,
Like-
yeah. You swing around the front. You kind of swing around the back, and me and Fox will
Exactly.
Yeah.
we'll act like we're
We'll meet you back at the hotel. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I say that out loud so that,
and
then
Fox will,
you and I keep walking along.
All right, so
See
Slayton
this.
kind of slinks off his direction, and you two, you're not approaching him, right? You're walking.
No, but we're fiddling around,
yeah.
admiring the
Drop and tie
architecture.
my shoe and
Mhm.
yeah.
And I'll arch out, duck into a store, and sneak out the back and kind of arch around.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
I've done this kind of stuff a little bit before, a little bit of my background there. Of course I roll horribly. 94 out of a great 75, but 94 nonetheless. I'm not disturbing tsetse flies by any chance, am I?
No. But so as Fox and Nobody, as you're kind of milling about, you do see his eyes kind of catch sight of Henry going the way he's going, and he very quickly folds up his paper and starts speed walking
Okay,
away.
I'm gonna have to run after him then.
Okay, if you start running, he looks back and he darts
Yeah.
away. So
If I see
A
this,
chase!
Chase, why did you do this to me?
I'm so sorry.
I'm sprinting parallel with them from my side.
Okay.
So that's con rolls from me and Henry, and Fox
Yes.
if he's okay.
If Fox is also chasing, then it's a
No, I'm a
con roll.
little too fat for the chase.
Boom.
I got a regular pass on my con.
And I've got a hard on my con.
Okay, what are your speeds? What are your moves?
Move rate is 9.
9.
Move rate's 9 too. I'm a fast. This is what I'm. This is
Okay,
mine,
his
so-
speed is also a 9. So
Yeah.
Nice.
so he's off. He has a bit of a head start.
Yep.
I'm following, but I'm not following as fast.
This is gonna be the loosest run chase of all time.
Yeah, sure.
So
I've only just learned how to do them too.
they're weird. So we're just gonna put you, Nobody, in the back. Henry's a little ahead of you, and we'll say he's got a good head start. So he starts taking off, and he starts and he kind of runs, starts weaving his way through a kind of more of a crowded market type area. So if Henry and nobody, if you guys can give me dex checks to kind of weave as he's kind of trying to lose you in this crowd.
Boom.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Okay, so you guys go in. He also passed his dex, and so he's out the other side. You two kind of come out after him. You haven't gained any ground yet. And he's trying to darting down alleyways. And you kind of burst kind of out into that street. And you don't see him, so I'm going to ask for a spot hidden.
Okay.
Hey, come on, spot hidden. Tell me now.
Yep. Just a regular pass though.
Okay.
That's all you.
All right. So by the time, because nobody was in the back, so by the time he gets there, he's gone. He's used his lead on Henry, since he kind of kept the distance, and you think he's hiding somewhere nearby because you don't see him run off anywhere, but you don't know where. And there's plenty of market stalls, and so you kind of came out of an alleyway onto a street, and so there's people going about markets and things, and you don't see him.
Okay. But we think he'd be nearby. Like we can see down the street, and
you can see. You don't see him still running. You guess he wouldn't have gone into a house.
I'll point Henry down one side of the street, like that way, and I'll go up the other side, and we'll just slowly walk, and like just keep an eye, see if there's any anyone maybe standing in front of a door trying to, or like if there's been like someone acting like someone's just run past them, or just trying to pick up on that sort of stuff.
Okay, so you get down a little ways. You're looking, and all of a sudden you hear this kind of one of these stall vendors kind of go like start shouting, and shoos him out from underneath the cart, kind of by where you came in the alleyway, and he just darts and runs back kind of towards where you came from.
Okay, cool.
And by the time, so he's
on it.
I mean, you run. So at this point, he's given himself so much of a lead.
Oh, okay.
Damn right. So he kind of double backed on us.
Yeah. All right.
Just
got away, dirtbag.
But we got a good look at him though, right? Like we know exactly.
No, you know exactly what he looks like if you saw him again.
So they won't send the same guy next time. Great.
Well, if they do, we know exactly what he looks like. The only thing we've got to hope now is that, as Fox said, that they don't know what Antonio and George look like, so it might be worth we keep them on a different floor. We try and keep our distance from them.
And maybe
communicate.
Suggest to them for them to keep the good doctor and the fisherman front going while we're doing the in your face. We're gonna fuck this.
Well, they know who we are. I mean, the only danger is possibly that they saw us arrive with them. But if we're lucky, we may have arrived with a bunch of Europeans off the boat and gone to the same hotel.
Yeah, probably.
So it might just look like a large group of. They won't necessarily know we're together. Well, anyway, let's head back. Find Fox, and I think we're on the same page. We agree that George and the doc should keep their distance from us three.
Okay, so
anything? No.
He
got
gave
away,
us the
double
slip,
back.
unfortunately. But me and Henry were talking. They definitely know we're here. They know what we think it's best if maybe the doc and Charles maybe kind of separate from us a little bit.
just an idea. We floated by them, see what they think.
Well, you're assuming that this was somebody. I mean, it's a good assumption considering everything that's happened. Could just be a
Exactly.
street thief that was sizing us up to picking our pockets.
Well,
Possibly, but I'd rather take the risk
Right.
of keeping us separated than go, oh, it's fine. It's not a concern. If it is, it
Well-
is. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we can make sure they're in a different room than us.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all meet back up together.
Right.
Share what happened to each of you. What are your plans now?
What time of the day is it?
We'll say by this point, it's around evening,
All right.
maybe like around 6.
So you said Singh is in India.
Well, as far as what George said that Singh has gone to India, but did he actually go back to India? George, did
Or
you
is
get
he
the-
just where this cult is, as you say, is I'm on a business trip. You know.
I don't see why his nephew or whatever would lie
Very true.
Well, he may not be.
unless he is off on a
Well, no, what I mean is that
sacrificing babies or whatever.
Uncle Singh, or whoever he is, might have told his cousin that's where he was going, but he's actually
Right,
not.
right.
Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Um,
I would also like to suggest when we are in Nairobi, I think a good cover for me and Charles, if we're going down that route, is he can be my assistant. I can be going to one of the aid camps or whatever.
I'm gonna if we have a
Some of
look
the
up and down
natives.
of Charles, is he gonna be able to pull off being a doctor's assistant in an aid camp?
Well, my secretary, something he can be my bag.
I think we'd probably be have more luck roughing Antonio up and making him look like he's going on a fishing trip with George.
You think you're going to rough me up? Jesus, I am not.
No,
I'm not going.
no, not. I mean, like,
Oh,
put
we
you in
can
some
we
of
can manage
George's
that.
clothes.
No,
Then,
I ain't going to that. I like my outfits. I am not going to that level. I do apologize, George, but
I think it's
Oh,
nobody's
no.
goddamn business why they're hanging out together.
well, that's very
Exactly.
true. That's very true.
I can have whoever I want as my assistant, or he can be a friend who's come with me to see the locale.
Yeah, like
Well,
I said, it's nobody's goddamn business.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to ask you. If they ask you, it's like, who the fuck are
But-
you?
But you do agree then that you two should maybe
Yes,
we should have
and
two separate groups.
It means
Uh,
I can.
Well, if you guys are
Yeah.
getting fingered already,
Mm.
oh yeah, we were.
Well, we may or may not be, but yes, yeah,
yeah,
we got to
There's-
play it safe.
Yeah,
Strong-
it'd be prudent to.
It does mean that I can try to what
Yeah.
I'm usually doing when
And
I
actually,
have
it might
visited
be
Kenya,
worth.
so-
It might be worth if we send the Doc and Charles on an earlier train as well.
I mean, we're going to have to be working together. At
Oh
some
yeah, no, we
point.
know that. Well, tomorrow, where you, me, and Henry are going to go out of town and see if we can find a
Something like
shaman
that.
or something along those lines.
You know what? We haven't looked in the newspaper. Maybe that's, it'll
good
say museum open. A giant statue of demon is being on display, and we'll be like, aha!
Well, there might be interesting stories in the paper anyway. Because remember when we, well, not we, but when you were in England, you went to the newspaper office and there was all those articles.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a good point. Is there a
Right,
paper?
right. Wasn't there something about a werewolf?
Yeah.
Yes, Frederick was quite keen on that.
I don't think we ever followed.
Yeah,
up
I
on
bet he
that.
was.
Silly. Yeah,
So-
but let's.
So looking through the papers, a lot of local stuff here in Mombasa. You're not finding anything that's
No.
those type of things that you're seeing elsewhere are not here, at least.
Okay.
You're not
Looks pretty boring here in Mombasa.
and anything that you see is just like ridiculous type of the heathens, the pagans.
Yeah, so
Right. Okay. So
I reckon if we want to see anything weird, it will be in a paper in Nairobi. I don't think anything cult.
Well, like I said, there might
related.
not be any activity over here at all here in Mombasa,
Exactly. Exactly.
except for the Sings. There's something. There's got to be some sort of connection.
But
They
we've
they might just be the exporter.
Should we?
It sounded like they were reasonably versatile.
Should we keep an eye on that place? Maybe.
for
Well,
a
Emerson
Not a
was
bad
sure in it.
idea. Yeah. Is it worth maybe Henry and I paying a visit in the night? Going and
Yeah,
having a
I
look
don't
at
think
the
it'd be
records.
worth breaking and entering, but maybe scoping the place out.
That might not be a bad idea.
Was there a bar or something
I-
across the street, or?
We know things are being shipped out of this place, so that's why I'm saying I think the breaking and entering might be worth it because we know weird shit has been shipped out of it. So we know there's potentially stuff in there that could.
Any of you read Hindu? That
Hindi,
Hindi, yeah.
Sanskrit?
No.
no idea.
Well, that's what their ledger's written in.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Hate to rain on your parade there, but
Didn't want to be local languages. I'd be semi okay, but not Hindi, I'm afraid.
Too bad. We don't have a nice camera. We can just sort of see what it is. Get it.
Well, I could mimic it. Like I can use my, like I'm quite good writer, so I could rewrite the handwriting of it. Not know what it means, but then we can get that translated elsewhere.
You can spend 2 hours doing that, and it's just
So
a damn legend.
you
Yeah,
wanna
true.
do that while you're breaking into the office at night of a place that may or may not be running a smuggling operation.
Oh, we know it is. We
And-
know it is. It's not a.
I don't think me or Fox.
I think
could bail you out.
that just increases the certainty of you ending with exiting with a few more holes than you entered.
Yes, I don't
I
think we
agree,
could
it's-
bail you
it's-
out of our money. So
Well, look, Henry. Do you wanna? We can. I don't mind if you and I want to go and at least scout the place out.
Oh yeah, case it to see if there's
Yeah.
What?
Because we don't necessarily need the ledger, but I don't know. Maybe if we do see something in them bringing something in, or we see maybe we encounter our friend.
that would be
Or if you see him loading up oblong-shaped boxes into that, what was that? The three-masted ship out there? The one that caught your eye.
yes, for ship. Yes, I
Okay,
was
so we're
trying
looking
to-
out for a three-mast ship.
Well, that was just the one he pointed out because it was
No,
pretty or
that's-
something.
Yes, no, I was looking to see if anyone was watching us or whatever, and I just saw this beautiful ship. It's probably nothing to do with anything.
So if
It's just a
they're
beautiful ship.
loading up lots of boxes at night into a pretty ship,
There you go. Then it's connected.
Down at the shipping yard.
yep.
Yes, at
All right.
night though.
Well, me and Henry, I guess we'll.
Well, before
Well,
you go,
yeah.
I want to do something. Can I see your hand for a moment?
Yeah, sure. Me?
Okay, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna look like I'm reading your palm, and I'm going to make a symbol on your hand, my finger,
Mhm.
and say something. And then I'm going to do the same to Henry. There, now you can go. Just checking.
what's that all about, Fox?
Don't worry about it.
This some of this magic jiggery poker you're on about.
Ah, yeah,
Um,
something I learned along the way.
I'm gonna sort of give George a side eye, and then lean into Fox and go. If you start going the way that Frederick was going, you tell us,
Don't worry.
because we can't have another psychopath on our hands.
Frederick was completely unguided, so he was consumed by it.
Well, Henry, let's get something quickly to eat and drink, and then we'll
Yeah.
get some dark clothes on and head out.
Okay, so nobody is slink off into the night to go do some scouting. Antonio and George, you arranged your separate room.
Yeah, very soon, Coach. I just to ask you, because Antonio has most likely been to has definitely been to Kenya before to do to like help medically, because that's his profession. Would I know of anyone around Nairobi that I could contact to let them know I am here in the area, and I can offer my aid?
You have contacts in Nairobi
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Easy
I would
enough
like-
to send them a telegram.
Yeah, I would like definitely want to give them ahead so they know that I am arriving and I am bringing an assistant
Okay, yeah, no,
with me this time. Yeah.
that's easy enough to do. And Octavius, what are you up to?
This time of night. I guess while they're doing that, I'm probably going through the newspapers to see if there is anything. I know there's already nothing, but just to see if there's something else.
Okay. So you spend your time kind of pouring through that. You could definitely go. So I mean, going like through back catalogs and things of newspapers.
Yeah.
If you go back far enough, it was a big sensation when the Carlisle expedition turned up in Nairobi. The thing with the massacre was well publicized. The Erica Carlisle's arrival, her stirring up the search party. So all that story is kind of fresh in your mind now. If you need to recall any of it, at least the official story of what happened, that's very well documented. It was buzzing back in 1919. So. Nobody and Slayton. You're out here watching this place. As kind of the night goes on, you count at least 4 people are still there. I'm kind of patrolling the warehouse, looking into the office with flashlights, kind of just meandering about.
And this is well past their closing hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So you count at least 4, like one will come out, look around the perimeter, they'll go in. Maybe like 30 minutes later, another one will come out and do kind of the same thing.
So, question, kind of going through the neighborhood with, I'm sure there's other warehouses and stuff. Is that kind of common practice here?
It's
everybody's
fairly
got
common.
guards? Oh, okay. All right.
You like not all of the warehouses, but some it's not like, they're out in pairs and they're every 15 minutes. Like, no, it's just very casually, every half hour or so, somebody kind of, checking locks on doors. They're making sure the windows are broken.
So just standard security. It could be an ordinary
casual,
operation. They just don't want people stealing their goods that they're shipping.
Do any of the guards or anyone around look familiar at all to me and Henry?
No.
Okay.
It's also dark, so I mean, unless you're gonna
that's why
unless you're gonna get really close. And be like, what are you up to? It's really hard to tell from this distance in this light, but if you don't see anybody that's as with the same build as that kid you chased off earlier, if that makes sense.
Okay. And how big is the is the building that he's based out of the same?
So there's a small little office building. So that's really small, and then it's a 2-story warehouse.
Okay.
That's pretty sizable. It's large enough to where a ship could come
right
up, so you could load stuff onto it.
And that's where he's going to have all the cargo and everything that he'd be shipping in. And you said they're like the guards are kind of doing a rotated.
Every so often they come out and check.
Okay.
It varies. So sometimes it's like 30 minutes between, or setting their timing at like 27 or 45. So it's pretty lax.
Okay. And how many guards have we seen?
4. You've seen 4 individuals.
Okay. And do they come in pairs, or is it like
just one? One will come out
One
and
of them.
check, and then go back in to the warehouse itself.
What are you thinking, Henry?
It's not that out of the ordinary.
I agree.
I'm very suspicious, but it's with this level of guards, I don't think we can reasonably, snoop in there without
I agree.
causing
I agree. And I
unwanted.
think that's going to cause us more issue now.
Yeah,
If we try and do that and then get caught, that's a massive problem.
I agree.
Look, I think we know that Aha Singh is somehow involved with the cult. We're aware of that, but I don't think it's worth us digging too far into this. Let's. What time is it now, Morgan? Because we've probably been here for a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's probably about 2 a.m. at this point.
I don't think we're gonna catch anything else here. Let's stay for another hour, and then we'll head home at 3. How's that sound to you, Henry?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Right. Yeah. So we'll give it another hour, just watching, seeing if anything else pops up, and if not, then we'll make our way back to the hotel. Once we do get closer to the hotel, again, I'm gonna be very looking out to see if anyone's.
Yeah.
We might go in through the back entrance or something like that, just to kind of. Yes, we're paranoid, but that's because you made us paranoid.
Very paranoid.
Well, you could give a spot hidden while you're coming back.
Especially after my buddy Frederick,
Oh, 02. I got an 02 on that one.
And 22. Yeah, so that's a hard.
Yeah, so looking around, right? I mean, it's very late. It's pretty much pitch black outside. And I mean, nobody, whether it's, like, you're not sure just how paranoid you are at this point, but, like, maybe you're detecting movement, maybe you aren't.
Right, so I've got a feeling
darkness.
like
you get that kind of like somebody else is out here, kind of like the prickles on the back of your neck kind of thing. But
okay,
as I said, as much like how much of that is reality and how much of that is paranoia, you don't know.
Well, me and Henry are pretty definitely pretty paranoid when it comes to this sort of stuff, so that makes sense. Cool. Then in that case, we'll head back up to our room and try and get some sleep for the remainder of the night.
Yep.
All right. So, and then George, was there anything that you were up to, or no? Just covering all bases. No.
Just fixing up the room, going to bed.
Okay, so it's now Friday, May 8th. Your tickets are booked for the 10th at the moment. Anything else that you're kind of looking to do? Here.
You're muted, Tom.
You're muted, Tom.
So it's the next day?
Yep.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come with me, we can go off onto the outskirts.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Yep. Well, I'll come with it. Yep, tag along on that.
I would definitely like to, because just in case, you never know, they could. I know that I might be able to help with brief translation if necessary.
I'm a little concerned with that, but if yep.
So I guess along those lines, what are the type of things that you're asking?
I guess we're going to start by sort of wandering around the non-European parts a little, like we're shopping and looking for stuff. And if there's anything that sort of goes towards the mystical, we'll strike up a conversation and say, traveled from, some of us are from England, some from other places. I'm from the United States, and we're just, we're sort of spiritual people, and we've always wondered what we can find here in Africa. You have any idea? Any shamans, practitioners of tribal religions?
Plenty. I mean, you get a lot of responses to that. they'll point you to different people. A lot of where you're pointed is local, but they talk about going to meditate in the mountains or, in the jungle, and
Well,
or like lots like the spiritual leaders of the mountain tribes and the plains tribes. And
well, we're looking for like a wise woman or a wise man that can tell us some of the history of the area and some of the legends and the stories.
okay, so and Antonio, will you give me a language use roll?
Yes. By the way, while I've been walking, I will have been keeping my distance, so it would kind of look like I'd be spying on them, and then I would interject if I was needed. Okay, that's 44, and my 45. So yeah, that is just a success.
Okay, so a lot of the through the course of this day, you learn a lot about about this local area. The people around here, they're very knowledgeable about this area
Right.
around Mombasa. And so you can all gain, as you learn more about their religion and customs, you can gain a couple of points of anthropology, archaeology, occult, like 5 points in each. But so a lot of it is very expected, I guess. Is the word to use. Very, very like standard, like no mythos type things. If you're not without dropping the name of like the Bloody Tongue and the Black Wind, the conversation would never goes. It never will naturally go in those types of directions.
Well, let's say that after I chit chat with some of them, if they seem friendly and we don't really get any weird, creepy impressions from them, we might drop a couple of those things, like Mountain of the Black Wind, or
Okay, give me a group luck check. So whoever has the lowest luck.
my luck is
I'm a 55. So.
I'm a 43.
All right. Okay. Not good, because I blew a lot of it surviving where we came from. I'm at 37. Guessing that's me.
Yeah.
All righty. Whoa, 20. 20. I did it. Okay, 20 even.
Okay, so you find a friendly kind of wise woman, and she's been chatting with you, and everything's fine. You're not getting any like nothing weird or like antagonistic, and you bring up the Mountain of the Black Wind, and she kind of like makes some kind of gesture, like warding off evil. Like she's just like, why would you like?
Is that something bad?
Bad? That place is cursed.
Really?
She tells you about. She grew up in the Nairobi area, and the Mountain of the Black Wind. It's known there's an evil spirit that dwells there that, if not appeased, sends out the black wind of plagues. So a lot of diseases, a lot of maladies to any sort of livestock or crops or anything is just it's generally considered a very bad place to be around most of the time.
So she's saying she grew up in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a long shot because I know obviously there's a lot of people from that area, but I'm going to ask if if the name, God, what was it Imweru? The woman?
Yeah.
If there's any reaction to asking if she knows the name. Okay.
No, she
was a wise woman that we met in Egypt.
Mm.
No, I'm sorry. I haven't lived there in
She
a
told
number of
us.
years.
She told us to be very careful when we came to this this part of Africa, and she showed us this symbol. Hey, let me draw it in the dust on the floor for you, and I'll do the bloody tongue symbol.
Okay, and she immediately like crosses it out with her foot,
Okay,
and it's like,
That's-
don't draw evil signs here.
I apologize. So this is something that you know.
They are, evil men and women that tend to the evil spirit in the mountain.
Well,
They
that's
tend to
that's
be
good.
able to-
That's why we need to avoid that entirely.
Yes, yes. Now, are we being watched?
Yeah, totally looking. I'm like,
Well, her
Um,
eyes are open.
But also no, because I'm also worried now because George and the doc came with us, so that
I have a
completely-
way out of. I have a way in my head how to
I'm not with you guys.
play that off.
Okay,
I know
George.
how to
So
play it
I
off.
mean, yes, you're being watched because you stick out a lot more in these types of areas, but
Yeah,
We're also not dumb
Like-
enough to do this right in the middle of the street.
right,
so-
no, exactly. So you're
in
kind of
somebody's
in
house.
her, in her
Yeah,
true,
house and
true.
things. So so you've drawn a lot of attention to yourselves. So like everybody's been watching you because everybody's kind of
Right.
curious what you're doing here. So that doesn't take any roles. Everybody you passed is like,
So-
what are they? Just out of it's just like curiosity. Like,
I tell her that she's been an incredibly great help to us, that we're tracing the footsteps of a friend of ours who passed away, who was writing a book. And I pull out the map of Nairobi.
Mhm.
And do I know on there where the massacre took place?
So from your news reports, that it happened in kind of these in some of the valleys, but in the mountains. And if you point that out on the map, she says
was-
that
there was a
she
particular
points
tribe.
out to you like like this, like she kind of circles with her finger,
Uh-huh.
like don't go here.
Okay, this is
And
the
it is
bad
in the
place.
vicinity of Mount Satima, which is close to Mount Kenya.
Okay,
And
so
so
we
she's
don't
like-
want to go here.
So that's like mountain. This is the mountain of the Black Wind is right here.
All right, well, we don't want to go here then. We're going to stick to this part of Kenya over here, and we should be fine. Thank you so much for warning us.
Yep. And right where she's pointing, that's where the massacre happened.
Right,
It's right in there.
right.
ah,
Well, I thank you very much. I don't know if I power.
When
Uh,
we leave, I want to do one thing just to cover our backs in case. So as we leave, I will just be like, gentlemen, I hope I was of some use to you because I know you overheard me speaking the language and you asked in the hotel. But I need to go. I will see you at the hotel.
how good a performance was that? Like,
Worded not as janky
I was gonna be like,
as I said it, but
I mean, nobody's really listening to you.
yeah.
right.
that-
Like,
but I'm wearing
right?
a
You
hat, so I-
give your little
and then I
your
We
little
have never met before.
you give your little song and dance routine, and then
it's not as
I,
janky as I worded it, but no one's probably
it was better than that. It was
it was
A lot
better.
better.
that was the gist.
That was just a rundown.
The
and
Reader's
then I-
Digest version.
I
And then
want to
I,
make very
well-
sure that I give her a generous donation.
Oh, she's very appreciative, but she kind of like looks you in the eyes, and she says, "Child, like, I see it in your eyes. Don't go there."
We won't go there. No, it's not our intention to do that. But thank you very much.
Mhm.
That's what I get from lying to an old woman.
Yeah, and she looks like deathly concerned for your well-being.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should stock up on some equipment and whatnot for this journey. We don't know what we're going to be up against, so
Yeah, and
You
I'll
know?
go back to the hotel.
So anything that you buy now, you're gonna have to pack onto the train. Just
Yeah, we can just
whether
buy
or not,
stuff
whether or
in
not whether or not you
Nairobi.
care, that's just something to point out.
to pack light for this journey and then stock up in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, so if you're gonna buy a bunch of like, I don't know, safari equipment, for lack of a better term, to
Sure.
kind of go hiking
Hot
out into the
pockets.
wilderness, that's a lot more storage and thing on the train, which
Well, 4 elephant guns don't really take up that much room.
Let's,
And there are actually elephants.
elephants. Hey, look at that.
let's there must be like a restaurant or a cafe or something in
Oh, yeah.
town.
There's
Yeah.
plenty. There's plenty.
Basically, I say to Henry and Fox probably as we come on our way back, I want to see if we can coax our friend out again, so me and Henry can have another go at maybe nabbing him. So if we sit down in the European town, we might be able to spot him. Or I'm sure he'll be keeping his distance and trying to watch from a distance and things. But it's worth a try.
The thing is if he is working for the bad guys, he's already told them we're here.
One thing that walking back to the hotel, obviously knowing that I was with them on the pretense I was translating for them, I still want to look to see if I'm being followed.
Okay, spot hidden. Just so very paranoid.
90. No, I'm not paranoid.
There's
I'm
those
not paranoid.
beautiful ships out there.
Oh
again.
my God! Leave it with the ships.
Oh, those ships.
Out in the harbor.
Oh, those beautiful ships. I
Something
will
to
have to
pack.
buy one with my money one day. Yes.
Wait, Henry and Fox and I will sit down and have some good Kenyan tea. They must have good tea in Kenya.
Coffee.
Coffee? Good. Okay,
This
Kenyan
is-
coffee.
The land of
Definitely
coffee.
in Kenya.
All right.
It's Baroness von Blixen tea. Or coffee.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's very good. Yes. It could perk me up.
That's funny. Francis never asked for a second cup of coffee when I make the coffee. All right, and then back to the hotel, I guess. Well, we're waiting to see if anybody's watching us.
Yeah.
We're keeping our eyes open.
So I guess to kind of keeping an eye out, is there anything else the rest of today and Saturday before you get on the train on Sunday? Is there anything else that anybody wants to do?
Geez, I can't really think of anything.
No,
I
I
telegram
definitely, while they're out harassing old ladies, I would definitely be picking up maps of the area,
Okay.
topographical, geographical.
So you spend your time finding maps, not just of the city, but like of the
Mm-hmm.
kind of the mapped wilderness beyond. So you do pick up some quite things there. People, you're informed that there's plenty of people in Nairobi you can find that will happily be wilderness guides for you. That's a very common thing. They want to sell you hunting licenses, fishing licenses, all these, you're very touristy, so they're trying to sell you all their, equipment and fishing poles
license. I'll pick up a fishing license.
Okay, so
And make sure it's a legit fishing license
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
entirety of Kenya.
yeah, you don't have any problems with that. So they're, like, oh, you're
All
looking at these maps, you want to go these places, so they're, buy all
All right.
our hiking gear and stuff. So they're very, very much trying to give you the sales pitch. But you do pick up quite a few quality maps. Spend your time
Awesome.
doing that.
We like maps.
If there's
I can write down addresses on them. That's very enjoyable.
Oh yeah, do you want to start give me your addresses and things? Do you enjoy writing those down?
Oh, no. So I'm guessing we still have our equipment from before, but I'll make sure that I still have binoculars. Maybe pick up a small camera.
Yeah, camera. That's easily obtainable. So like when you came, as I mentioned, nobody really searched your bag, so
we have
any
our
books,
Oh.
firearms,
got it. Yeah, the ammo and that's
ammo, and
We've
things were
got we have the
confiscated, we have all that.
Necronomicon.
We have our stuff.
Did
yeah.
we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all your stuff is fine or
Okay, all right.
sequestered elsewhere on the planet. So
Okay.
And some of the extraneous stuff we've shipped back to the United States.
And no more blue.
I want to
More
maybe
balloons.
go to the library again, and I want to try and the stone that the woman gave us, or the thing in the basket.
Right.
Oh yeah, the stone.
Yeah, did you say there was like markings on it?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to maybe see if I can find out what those markings see if I can find the markings anywhere else, like Egyptian hieroglyphics or
Right. So spending your time in the library, yeah, they're hieroglyphs that mean like protection, warding off evil.
Yeah.
So what is on the stone is pretty standard Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Okay, so I'm able to kind of pick up that it looks like some sort of protection thing.
Yeah, like something that you would put to like ward off something. It's broken. It's broken down the middle though.
Oh, okay. So it's
part of it is
right.
missing. So you have a piece of this whole thing. You gathered that it's incomplete, but you have whatever it is. You have part of it.
Does it remind me at all of what Fox might have described to me of the
bar of
gold, the bar of gold from
It's
Peru?
very like you get a kind of a very similar feeling about it. Like
it's
the gold
a seal
bar was a
kind of
seal.
broken.
This is kind of a seal. They're both kind of related to this whole business.
Okay, I'll probably relay that back to Fox as well.
Well, it's what we've kind of figured all along, but
this is a broken off seal of something, but it's for some form of protection. Maybe it's as like from memory. You told me the seal you had in Peru, that was what kept. It was on.
We
the
assume
pyramid,
that's what it was for. It certainly did stop whatever it was. But
it also hurt the things. You used it as a weapon, didn't you?
Yeah. And it was because it was actually pried loose and removed that this pestilence
got out. Right.
Vampires, the Carisi, or whatever they were called.
Definitely want to keep this safe then.
So from what you were saying before, that the Fox, the group back in New York, you interrupted a ritual at the basement of the Juju house.
Yes.
Stopped that from happening. Then in London, it was a ritual that was stopped and broken up at Gavigan's estate. Then in Egypt, it was a broken up ritual intercepted with Francisco's family with horrific endings, but we still broke that up. So this ongoing trend here, I'm betting you donuts to dollars that there is a ritual we need to break up here. And at this point, it sounds like this mountain is where it most likely would be performed.
There is a dark and malevolent entity of some sort. We don't know enough about it yet, but it seems to be active, and it seems to be worshipped by various peoples, and they have their own names for it, whatever it is. And it seems to have plans that it's had for 4,000 years, and it's trying to put all of the pieces in place with these rituals to accomplish something. We don't know what it is. And
Mm.
so far, we've thwarted a few of these. We don't know if that actually is thwarting this entity, but we're certainly putting a thorn in its side. Most likely, we're just going to be wiped off the planet at a certain
So
point.
this entity, as you say, it's taking on. Well, people have used different names. So here and in New York, it was the Bloody Tongue.
The bloody tongue.
In London, it was, and Egypt, it was the Black Pharaoh.
The Black Pharaoh, yeah. And
And so
who
that might
knows?
tee up with the Australian one, because here, and I'll go through some of the papers we've got.
That
and
was
go,
some
the,
sort
this
of
one
bat
here,
god.
the sandbat.
The sand bat.
Yeah. So I'm guessing maybe that tees up, like that's what they're potentially calling it.
Possibly, yeah. And it's a worldwide.
Is this the entity
sort
that
of-
we met in Egypt? The one that
Yeah.
locked us in the
Yeah. We were trapped down there.
Yeah, that was pretty powerful. I got a pretty bad headache when I was there.
The thing is that it's. I have a hard time believing that it's such a thing as a god, because if we were really irritating it, why wouldn't it just wipe us out? Certainly, it could. What would be keeping it?
Maybe
from
it's
wiping us?
enjoying playing with its food.
Well, that's possible. I think that's probably the most likely thing of all, that it's just fucking with us. Maybe seeing if we can actually, if us stupid little monkeys can actually figure out how to stop it.
But if you look at it, in New York, London, Egypt, there were rituals that needed to happen. So it apparently needs these rituals to complete. So it's dependent on humans to cooperate and do something. So if we are breaking that cooperation, we're keeping it in check, so to speak. We need to figure out what it is these rituals actually are doing. It sounds like they've been broken up, but without fully understanding what it is, though, they were trying to do.
Here's the thing, though. We broke them up for now.
Yeah, they can always be
mind,
redone.
This started years ago. This started with the Carlyles.
I think
with the expedition. What I mean, you know.
I think I might on some level disagree with you, Henry, only because I don't think an entity with that kind of power needs anything from us. But I think that maybe the worshippers want something from it.
Okay.
So they're trying to do something to gain power. This is all about gaining power.
Gaining
that
faith.
book over there, that Necronomicon, that's all about gaining power. But if you seek power in order to be powerful, then you're kind of insane. If you seek power to help the people around you, maybe you're a little safer. Still dangerous, but it's possible. I've learned a lot from that book. I think it should be fucking burned. But not really. Maybe there's a way to use it still.
Well, be careful. You know what happened last time someone read all the books we had?
I think that Frederick indulged in taking the drug. And I think that's what damaged his mind. I also did, but I only did it once.
The blue
liquid. I see George over there whistling like I'm out of my mind.
I can't think of anything else that Francis would need to do before leaving. Does anyone else got any ideas?
Question though, out of the game for a moment. Did we kill Fred, or did we leave Fred?
You left Fred.
We left Fred.
When
He's
you left,
fucking still going.
When you
jumped in
left
the water,
him,
right?
He jumped in the water, but as you left that chamber, he was sitting in that throne, just smiling at you.
Frederick also had a chunk of his skull.
His skull blown up, yeah. But so his body fell into the water, but it was later you saw it sitting.
It's ascended Fred.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally thought he died.
It's pissed off, Fred.
Well, he may have died, but that didn't stop him.
It's now Fred Hotep.
Fred
Hotep. Nyarla Frederick. Yeah.
Diet brand Nyarlathotep, generic brand.
Oh, jeez.
Great
Well-
value, Natty Hotep.
So are we going to say that tomorrow we leave on the train?
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'm ready. Locked.
I'll
And
probably go out tonight and visit some bars and get drunk.
Well, so you're leaving on Saturday then. So you'll arrive Sunday morning then in Nairobi.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's 18 hours. We're going to leave on Saturday and arrive Monday, won't we?
Well,
Wait,
so
no,
if you
18
so
hours,
if
sorry.
you yeah, it's 18 hours. So if you
Yeah.
left at say like
1 o'clock on Saturday.
yeah, if you left 1 o'clock on Saturday, you'd get there in the evening, like 7 o'clock
7 o'clock. in the
Sunday.
evening.
Okay.
And then we can sleep and rest
Me
And then
and
be
George
ready
are
to go
sticking together.
in the
Me
morning.
and, me and George are staying together
so-
away from you.
As far as the train is concerned, there's different types of seating. You're all basically you get first class, which is at the very back of the train. It's compartment seating. So I'm going to assume Fox, nobody, and Slayton are in one compartment, and Antonio and George are in a different one.
Yes.
And they're not right next to each other.
They're not right next to each other. They are
Yeah.
they're spread out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, while you're on the train, and you're sleeping, and everybody give me listen rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Hard success.
Regular success.
Regular.
I got a extreme 10.
and I failed miserably, even though I have a 70, but I rolled 87.
That's all right. We got 2 successes per car.
That's true. Good point.
So, those of you who pass, you start waking up to like shouts and cries of like a commotion. Maybe like you hear a distant fire. There's a fire, and Francis, you turn and like there's this blaring light outside, and you turn and there's this blue glow on the outside of your window. And Antonio and George, you look out your window and there's this red glow out there.
Fox,
And then
Fox,
the
Slayton.
glows burst in through the sides of the train, setting everything on fire. And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Oh, my.
Boy.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
What in the Sam Hill?
Holy shit.
Dang. I'm not even prepared. Okay.
We're all going to die.
Our players included Zane Fleming, Brian Daly, Stuart Lively, Josh Harwood, and myself, with Morgan Llewellyn as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows, free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure in the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck.